Willie D Live.
It's Willie D, y'all, back with another episode of information and instructions to help you navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. In the studio, Godfrey. Godfrey, what's up,
back
God?
again, man.
Man.
Back in Houston. I had to come through. I said, Willie, you know I got to come through, man. What's up? I want to do that one. Now it's one-on-one. Before it was you and, Scarface.
Right.
And now it's just you. I said, and I've been watching your one-on-one. It was dope. I said, I gotta get a piece of this, son. You know?
Man, I had to get a piece of that action at your show, man. I went to your show the other day, and man, you had a heckler, man. This dude was sitting right next to me, man.
Are you serious?
I started to whoop him, but then I said, I ain't no use to being disruptive, you know what I'm saying? Somebody else will whoop him, you know? But this dude was right next to me, man, and, he was sitting over, he was hugged up with his girl, and he was embarrassing his girlfriend.
Oh, so he was talking shit with his girl.
That's the dude that you yelled out, and you said you was messing with him. You cussed him out. You said something about him.
Was I imitating him?
Yeah, he was saying something stupid like, yeah, know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, that dude.
He was like, yeah, what I'm talking about. You started messing with him. But the dude, he was all night. The dude did that throughout your whole set.
Yeah, man, that shit's annoying, man. Because the rest of the crowd is with you.
Yeah.
And when you have one fucking tumor, and you know what I'm saying? And I have, hecklers can be like tumors, benign or malignant.
Right.
And there's sometimes they're having such a good time, you go, he's not being mean, he's just fucking obnoxious, but he's enjoying himself. And then you got to think in your head, this guy paid money because he wanted to come see. Sometimes they're so excited to see you. There was a lady on another show who was so excited to see me. She's going, yeah, Godfrey, yeah, oh, yeah. And what am I going to go, bitch? Sit your ass down. The fuck, man? I know you paid, but bitch, you just interrupted me. Yeah. No, you can't do that. She was so nice, and she was an older lady. She was like, yes, Godfrey, I love you. Ah! It was like the Holy Ghost. But I was like, okay, she crazy. Ain't she crazy? I kind of let her do her thing and try, because people were like, God damn, lady. But I am not gonna. It was all good intention. Like, my man wasn't being mean.
That's right.
He wasn't being mean. He was like, hey, man, yeah, goddamn it, hey, you get damn right, baby. and he was an old school cat.
And I'm just poking fun when I started to whoop him, because I ain't gonna lie, dude.
I had Willie D in the building. He was gonna whoop someone's ass for me.
But listen. He was like the sideshow. Like, the dude had me laughing. Just how he was talking, man. And he seemed like he was like sharp bus window licking slow, right? The dude was like,
I remember, because I was fucking with him. It was getting laughs. See, if everybody's getting laughs with it, what I do is, in my head, I go, all right, this guy, I don't know how long he's gonna do this, but let me fuck with him. See if I can get laughs off of it. Yeah, you keep going. Like, oh yeah, that right, motherfucker. Yeah, goddamn. And if you can get laughs, you go, good. At least it's going with the show. But I had another show. This was last night, So I talked about Vietnamese, because you guys have a huge Vietnamese population.
Mm-hmm. We do.
And I grew up with a lot of Vietnamese people in Chicago, fresh off the boat. My friends can speak English now. When I knew my friends in grade school, they couldn't speak no English. They were just like, I'm from Vietnam. That's how you know Vietnamese people. Their language, there's Chinese. Chinese talk like, when you hear Chinese people, they're like, oh, sure, that's Vietnamese. You hear Korean, that's Korean. Vietnamese, they kind of ghetto. I ain't gonna front. That's Southeast Asian. Just pretend like you're drinking water. That's Vietnamese, like, I ain't Vietnam. And the word for black is me dang, because they used to always say me dang. That means black American. Yeah. We used to go to this Vietnamese store to play video games, and they could be like this, me dang, me dang, me dang. And we were like, yo, what the fuck is this me dang shit? It means black.
Man, I'm going to be listening from now on.
From now on, me dang. All black people in Houston, when you hear me dang, They ain't saying dang. They're saying nah. They're saying black person. Me dang, me dang. Mm-hmm. And there was a Vietnamese girl in at the show, which was beautiful. They came out to see me. They were like, yo, you right. And then when you say dung ma, that means like fuck, motherfucker. Dung, they say dung ma. And they were like, yo, he knows his shit. And I had the Vietnamese people dying laughing. And I said, everybody, I want you to look at my validation. She's like, you are right. And then I said, Vietnamese are ghetto as fuck. Don't fuck with them. They will give you that business because we had Vietnamese gangs in Chicago. I grew up in Chicago. We had Vietnamese gangs. They come from the Vietnam War. Do you know the Vietnam War, Vietnam beat the U.S. We lost the Vietnam War. This is no disrespect to any soldiers at all. We lost it. If you want proof, you can watch the PBS 11-part series on PBS. It's the Vietnam War by Ken Burns, who's the greatest documentary maker living. Watch the 11-part series. Vietnam beat the U.S., even though Nixon was just bombing the fuck out of the Vietnamese people, which was unnecessary. They beat the U.S. because the U.S. troops did not understand the landscape of Vietnam.
Yeah, the terrain, yeah.
And the rice farmers, they used the rice farmers. The most clever strategic shit we had ever seen was the fact that they were in holes. They were in holes pretending like, you know how we do now? We put bushes on our head to make it look like they started that shit. And they came out of holes shooting. The U.S. was unprepared for it. It's in the documentary. I was like, it was one of the most clever, strategic military shits they had ever done. And they were just losing. And then the Vietnamese beat the shit out of the French, kicked the French out because the French were there. So the Vietnamese are a small country of some of the toughest people you will meet. All my friends I grew up with were tough. They were always scrapping. They always had weapons on them. All of my friends had weapons. The Cambodians were my next door neighbors. They had weapons. They come from that war-torn country, you know what I mean, that has been fucking raped and pillaged, and they just are tough people, man. Yeah. And so I said this, and a dude in the back was like, you fucking lying, fuck you, you're lying. He was mad that I said we lost the war. And everyone was like, we did lose it. Why are you mad? I said, I'm not disrespecting soldiers. I said, well, why don't you go watch, since you complaining, go watch the series, go watch the documentary. But no, you want to be a dumbass and not look at information. And I'm like, I don't know if you're a soldier or not, but one thing I don't do is disrespect anybody that served. But we did lose the Vietnam War. It's just like the Confederate, right? We lost. Didn't the South lose in the Civil War? All right, so I'm like, what you get mad at me for? I go, and then man kept just going. I said, nah, fuck you, fucker. We going back and forth. And I said, it's so funny how everybody's a tough guy at a comedy club. Everybody's a tough guy at the comedy club, but nobody heckles an MMA fight. Nobody heckles a boxing match. Y'all be sitting quiet as fuck looking, who's winning? No.
Man, how do you do that, man? Like you're a serious guy who makes a living finding the humor in that seriousness. Yeah. How do you juxtapose the two?
There's an equation for comedy. Comedy is time plus pain. That's where comedy comes from. Most comedy comes from serious shit. Most comedy comes from anger, annoyance, most of it. Happy comedy, it's a bunch of bullshit. It's mostly like, because, you know, most comics be like, man, don't you hate when you get on the elevator and someone just start talking to your ass with badass breath? Everybody be dying. They go, hell yeah, I fucking hate that shit. People live through that. Like, so comedians go, I'm going to talk about that shit. Because you're basically speaking for people who want to say shit and they can't say it and they kept it. You know, you ever have that boss that be all over you at the cubicle and they be like, hey, what you doing? Huh? Okay, just checking on you.
Right.
And people go, my boss is like that. I fucking hate this dude. So that's where the laughter comes out of. Because you're like, oh. It's inciting laughter when people can relate. You got people relating to you. Nostalgia fucks people up. Hey, remember when you used to have the TV that had the little antenna on it? Oh, shit. The nostalgia, relations. And it's just, so it just, that's where the comedy comes from. It comes from serious shit. Because joking is one of the most serious things in the world. People always go, why aren't you should, women will tell me this shit. Why you're never serious? I go, well, what do you have anything to talk about? You want me to just say you're pretty all day? The fuck is that? Do you have anything to talk about? We can talk about, you want to talk about politics, talk about science, talk about math. I'm a pretty educated guy. My father was an educator for 45 years. I read a lot of books. What are you talking about? I joke because it's a serious thing for me. You know, I don't joke because a lot of times they say you're joking because you're trying to hide something. And there's some truth to it, but I just think a lot of shit is funny.
This is what I want to know. You grew up in Chicago, right?
Yes, I did. Born in Nebraska, grew up in Chicago.
You grew up in Chicago.
Yes.
And people who have actually been to Chicago know that there's some good side of Chicago and there's some bad side of Chicago.
Yes, sir.
Now, when it's good, it's good, but when it's bad, it's bad.
Man.
And, I grew up in Fifth Ward in Houston, and we got it's good and good, and we got the bad and bad, right? But the thing is that I've seen people get killed for joking. Like, I've seen people get killed telling jokes. Yeah. Talking about somebody's mama, or even just talking about a person, just dressing them down. I've seen people get killed. Yeah. So I was always cognizant of being careful about how to joke and who you joke with.
That's right.
Right? Because people aren't the same every day they wake up.
No.
One day it might be cool that we joking and you cracked on me. But on this day, I'm in a bad mood, man. I ain't feeling it. And I told you already, man, I ain't feeling it. Right. But then you gonna still you still with it.
That's the fairness that you giving them. My thing is communicate that to me. If we have, like, me and you have a relation where we know when we joke and then we know when we're serious.
Right.
Like, if you let him, especially the jokey motherfucker, let him know, like, hey, I just want to let you know today I'm just not really in the mood. My man, I'm good. All you do is tell him.
If you cross that line, then he looking for it.
That's it. Yeah. But if let's say we at a comedy club, you came to a comedy club. We ain't in church.
Right.
We ain't at your job. You came to a comedy club. It says, you online, it said comedy club. They say, hey, man, let's go to see some comedy. Okay, let's go to a comedy club. Right. You go to comedy club. Now, there's some comedians that go out to reach and fuck with the audience. They just go, hey, man, look at you with that hat on. That's like DL be like, how you doing, brother?
Hey,
what's going on? I see that hat is tight as fuck, nigga.
That's the first person came to mind.
DL is one of my favorite comics. I don't give a fuck. People be like, DL is, first of all, he's so politically smart now. He's just really merged into this political giant to me. Because it's not easy to do political jokes. Like, he really is into politics. It's not an accident that he was at the DNC, which I thought was fucking huge. A lot of people disagree, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We speak for a living. As a hip-hop artist, as a podcaster, as an interviewer, we talk for a living. Everything's not going to be perfect, Mm-hmm. But DL will talk about some serious political shit. Then he'll go, what's up, brother? What's your name? And just start. But that's what DL does. And if you don't know DL be like, say, brother, that suit's a little tight, ain't it? And he's fucking good at it. But I don't pick at the audience. I'm not really a crowd work dude, but I got the skill to do it. Like when the dude was heckling, I was like, yeah, mother. I got that. Just coming up from the Bernie Mac's room, and just the black side of Chicago performing in the ghetto rooms in New York, all that. I got that skill, but I don't have any interest in the audience at all. I don't shut the fuck up when I'm up there. I got jokes. I just want to tell my jokes. If you say something a little bit boo boo, but I don't want to go, y'all are y'all together? Y'all just fucking? I don't
So you don't have any interest in their personal life?
I don't have any interest in speaking to you, none of that. Some dudes will go after some cats that didn't do nothing to them and start talking about them. Now, like you said, motherfuckers get hurt for that shit. Some cats don't know how to take jokes, and that's why I think that's one of the main reasons why I don't really fuck with people, because you don't know who you're dealing with. Some guys be like, man, I ain't in the mood for all that, but they're sitting all cool and shit like, yo, man, shut the fuck up, man. Talk to me.
Because a lot of guys come to the comedy show because they was dragged to the comedy show by that
true.
girl.
That's so true.
It's no secret.
They already mad that they came to see you. I love Godfrey. He like, okay. Yeah, you hell, motherfucker. And then the girls laughing. He's like, yo, why don't you relax with all that shit? And then the comedian goes, this motherfucker ain't laughed since the whole time, just fucking frowning. They be like, and everyone's laughing at him. He's like, one more time, dog. You got one more motherfucking time. That motherfucker brandishes his fucking gun like this. Who laughing now? And you're like this. I'm so sorry.